Nigeria's opposition is not just divided, it is collapsing. At a time when voters are demanding alternatives to the current government, at a time when in every section of the country, people appear to be angry at the government and the depth to which the country has fallen in terms of security, the economy, and in almost every sphere of life. Of course, the very parties that are meant to challenge power are tearing themselves apart. And just over the weekend, two of Nigeria's most influential opposition figures, former governors Peter Obi and Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, have left the ADC, the coalition group to which they just joined not long ago. And they are reported to have joined a new project to build something completely new, a new party, a new alliance, and a new gamble. But here is the real question. Is this the rebirth of opposition politics or the final stage of its disintegration and ultimate victory for the ultimate victory, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the man which majority of Nigerians appear to be in a hurry to part with? My name is Rimamnde Shawulu. This is Political Updates from the other side. For months, Nigeria's opposition has been trying to do one thing, just one thing: unite. The idea was simple: bring together fragmented forces under one platform, the African Democratic Congress, ADC. But unity in Nigerian politics is just about politics. It is just about power, and power rarely shares space. Now imagine reports suggest that Peter Obi and Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso have actually left the coalition framework and moved into a new platform called the Nigerian Democratic Congress, NDC. Why? A lot of things are left for rumors. But the challenge, predominant rumor or belief, is that former Vice President Atiku Abubakar may defeat the two of them at any presidential primaries. Because beneath the surface of coalition talks, a deeper conflict was unfolding. Who controls the ticket? Who wins the ticket? Who leads the movement? And ultimately, who becomes the president? Also, related to that is the fact that if you look at the trajectory of the party, the multiplicity of court cases that the party has, many people within the coalition are afraid that the party may not be on the ballot in the 2027 elections. To understand this collapse, you have to understand the state of Nigeria's opposition parties. They are not just competing with the ruling party, they are competing with themselves. Let's take the Labour Party, for instance. Once the vehicle of a political movement, the Labour Party is now locked in a prolonged leadership war. Multiple factions, conflicting court rulings, parallel claims to legitimacy, and at the center of it all, the departure of its biggest electoral asset, Peter Obi. Without him, the structure appears to be weakened. The momentum appears also to be fading. There is also the People's Democratic Party, once Africa's most dominant political party, the party that had ruled the country for 16 years, the party that emerged, even in defeat, as a strong opposition party that was determined or had the capability to overthrow within 4 years the party that defeated it in the 2015 elections. But today, it is a house divided. The crisis is layered. A north-south power struggle, a fallout from both the 2015 and 2023 elections, internal distrust between party elites, and at the center of the storm, again, Vice President Atiku Abubakar, a political heavyweight, but also, from all indications, a polarizing force within coalition politics. And then came the new Nigeria People's Party, which is even more fragile. Its strength is concentrated almost entirely in one place, Kano, and that strength is tied to one man, Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, the former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, a former minister, and a two-time governor of Kano State, the second biggest voting state in the country. If he leaves, the party doesn't just weaken, it collapses into almost irrelevance. And finally, the platform, the African Democratic Congress itself, it was meant to unify the opposition. Instead, it became another battlefield: leadership disputes, legal uncertainty, elite distrust. The coalition didn't fall because of ideology. It appears to be failing because of control. Who controls it? At the heart of Nigeria's opposition crisis is not policy, it's not governance, it is not power. Each major figure represents a different political base. For instance, let's take a look at the dominant figures. Former governor of Anambra State, Governor Peter Obi, urban youth and reform voters, a new set of voters who made a very big difference in the 2023 elections. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, northern grassroots machinery, very strong in Kano, the state that has the second highest voting strength in Nigeria. And then Vice President Atiku Abubakar established elite networks across the country, in almost every part of the country. These are assets that, when combined, could give strength. But instead of combining these strengths, they are competing for dominance. Not coalition, competition, not alignment, but ambition. And this is why the opposition breaks. Because in Nigerian politics, coalitions do not fail due to lack of numbers. They fail due to lack of trust that has been demonstrated by what is happening in Nigeria today. Nowhere is this crisis more critical than in northern Nigeria. The North decides elections. And the question is, can the PDP still win there? The Northwest, the most populous voting bloc. But today, APC dominance arguably remains strong. Kwankwaso holds influence in Kano. PDP structures across the North are deeply weakened. In reality, PDP still faces an uphill task politically because of the divisions within the party. How about the Northeast? More competition. States like Adamawa and Bauchi still provide strong opponents. The reality is that PDP might be strong in the minds of people, the local people, but it retains limited power at the moment in the Northeast, where it used to win almost all the states except Yobe and Borno states. How about the North Central? This, of course, has remained the true battleground in Nigeria's politics. Ethnic diversity, religious balance, high vitality. The reality on ground is that PDP is still a fighting force and may have a chance, but only if it is united in this region that has witnessed and keeps witnessing so much violence that the people are wondering what the new ruling party, that is the APC, has to offer them. Without a united opposition, even strong regions become unwinnable to any person. And what happens now? If Obi and Kwankwaso move into a new party, the implications are immediate. The opposition vote splits, urban voters scatter, northern protest votes divide, and the idea of a single challenger disappears. Instead of one opposition, Nigeria may get three. And in a fragmented system, you don't need a majority to win. You just need more than everyone else. And that was exactly what happened in 2023 when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu won the election. Only 27% of the people in the voters list voted. And of the 27% of the voters that voted in Nigeria in 2023, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was only able to poll a third of the voters. Nigeria is entering a defining political moment as of today, not because of who is in power, but because of who is not ready to challenge it. The opposition today faces three possible features. The first one, continued fragmentation, multiple candidates, divided votes, predictable outcome, just as it's happened in 2023. Second scenario, coalition, too late, little, unity without trust. Again, the president retains power. A new third force, the NDC experiment, but without structure. Even a new party becomes an old problem. But of course, in several parts of the world, miracles have happened at this stage of elections. The elections that just concluded in Hungary, for instance, produced one that was not expected to win. But he came out, did his homework, worked hard, and was able to win the election. In Kenya, when there was election some years ago, the last election some years ago, the current president, William Ruto, was not endorsed by the outgoing president. He decided to try out on his own. And a miracle happened because he worked hard and he got elected, beating the alliance between the long-time opposition figures, that is Raila Odinga and the former president, who had come together and made peace and wanted the opposition figure to win that election. But they were defeated by the new president, William Ruto. In the case of Nigeria in 2023, Peter Obi almost achieved that. However, he was limited by the fact that, unlike many claims in Nigeria, ethnic and religious fault lines are still very strong and even become stronger during elections. And so Peter Obi did not do very well in some sections of the country. And of course, even Rabiu Kwankwaso, the former governor of Kano State, did not do well anywhere apart from Kano. And it was thought that coming together of these opposition groups could change the story and give Nigeria a new thing. But here we are today. The opposition parties are fragmenting, and it does appear that we may go into the election with 3 strong candidates. In the end, elections are not just about popularity. They are about organization, strategy, discipline, and unity. Right now, Nigeria's opposition appears to have none of the above. And until that happens, the outcome of the 2027 election may already be decided. This is your political update from the other side. My name is Rimamnde Shawulu. If you want deeper data-driven analysis on Nigeria's politics, security, and future, just do the following. Subscribe to our channel, stay informed, and always look beyond the headlines.